I told Jennifer, I said, I can't offer you this part. You have to audition.
Wow.
And Jennifer told me, she says, I'll audition. I'll put my talent up against anybody. And if there's somebody better to play Selena than me, they should do it. Hi, I'm Gregory Nava, the writer and director of the film Selena. And we're here today on When Zay Zay Met. And today, Zay Zay is meeting me.
¿Qué pasa, cómo está mi gente? I am Zay Zay, and welcome to When Zay Zay Met. Today, we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the release of the motion picture, Selena. And we get to meet the award-winning director, show your love, Gregory Nava. How you doing, sir?
Zay Zay, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm so excited about the fact that Selena's coming back to the theaters because, you know, the way to see this movie is on the big screen with that beautiful sound and those beautiful images. And I'm so happy that people who originally saw the film get to go back to theaters and see it. And all the new generations that have only seen the movie on television can have a chance to see it in the theater where it was meant to be seen. All of the drama, all of the music, the laughter, the heart that this movie has is so much more powerful on the big screen.
One thing that I absolutely love is your enthusiasm about it all. You know, the word iconic seems to get thrown around pretty liberally these days, but if you've ever been to Texas, you for sure know that iconic is what this young lady is. Right along, I would posit, with the movie, right? Because it's kind of like it was a perfect almost lens into what her life was and such a love letter to her existence. How do you feel the movie held up over all this time?
Well, I think it's due entirely to the beautiful spirit and the beautiful light of Selena. You know, I mean, this is what, I mean, everything she did in her life, right, was like, had never happened before. She overcame obstacles. We were talking about this before, that, you know, we all have to deal with and defeat us. And she walked through them like they didn't exist. What an inspiration. What a beautiful young woman. What a heart, you know, and truly an icon. And truly she was iconic and an inspiration to all Latinos, you know. Si se puede. You see her story and you're inspired. Yes, I can do it too, you know. And so it's due to her entirely. And everything that she did was unique. No one had ever done it before. And so now here we are with her movie, 25 years later, coming back to theaters, more popular than when it was first released. And when does that ever happen in the history of cinema?
Yeah.
Never.
Never.
But it happened with Selena because of Selena, you know, because she could move through barriers and her spirit is moving our film through all these barriers. You know, it just received maybe the highest honor that an American film can receive. It was named a couple of months ago to the Library of Congress National Registry of Classic Films in the History of Cinema. And so it was named to that. And so now Selena is up there with Citizen Kane and The Godfather and all the greatest films that have ever been made. Selena is there. And again, it's her beautiful light. You know, her spirit inspired us when we were making that film, all of us. And I felt that she was with us when we made the film. It elevated all of our work. You talk about bringing your A game to a film. With her, it was AAA. Because Selena, I mean, look at Jennifer's performance. It's amazing. Edward, you know, I always felt it like suddenly, you know, I just got these great ideas and was thinking of all these wonderful things on the spot when we were making the film. And, you know, so it was Selena. And I'll tell you something else. You know, I have to thank the Tejano community, our community. One of the reasons that the film is so great is because of the love that our community brought to this film while we were making it. I'll give you an example. the incredible scene that opens the movie, in which we reconstructed the historic concert that she gave at the Houston Astrodome.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So we put an ad in the paper. 35,000 people came for free.
So good.
And they filled that stadium. When you see that scene, there's no visual effects, no CGI.
Right.
Those are all real people filling a stadium, right, for that particular scene. And they stayed all day. You know, it takes a long time to shoot a scene.
Sure.
They stayed all day and helped us recreate that historic concert. And wow, what other filmmaker has such a thing? The love that the Tejano community brought to that film, but that's what Selena's spirit inspires in us. It is love.
There you go. It is love. Well said, sir. When you were making this movie, as you were just saying too, I'm sure that there were a lot of great times, right? You were making things up on the spot. Hey, what if we did this? What if we shot it like this, or what have you? What to you, as its director, as its chief, the man at the helm, what is your favorite memory from making this movie?
There are so many memories, you know, big and small, but the one that we were just talking about, when I was standing in that stadium and there was 35,000 people there, and they came dressed as they would have come for a Selena concert. And most of them had been at the concert at the Houston Astrodome that we were recreating. My parents were in the stands, you know, they came to watch the concert. They told me after it was over, they went, people are like, well, can you do it? And then suddenly Jennifer comes out and she starts dancing just like Selena. You know, Jennifer didn't dance like Jennifer. She studied Selena. She studied that video of that concert, and she worked with Pete Estudillo, who was Jennifer's dancing partner. She recreated Jennifer's movements perfectly, beautifully. Nice. What a performance that Jennifer gave.
Yeah.
And she was lip syncing to Selena's voice. That was really Selena's voice. I didn't want to have anybody singing for Selena. I wanted the audience to hear her voice. But to lip sync it so perfectly that it seems as though you're doing it, and the audience goes, oh, she did it. It's perfect. It's Selena on stage. They start crying.
Aww.
People were weeping. They were weeping and they were cheering all at the same time. The Quintanilla family was there. They were weeping, you know, because we just lost this beautiful young woman. Yeah. And yet we were celebrating her. I've never experienced anything so emotional in my life, ever shooting a film before. It was such a powerful, powerful moment. So I'd have to say that sitting in that stadium with all of that love and all of that incredible talent that, you know, Jennifer gave, and then that our crew gave, because when you see the film, we had to cover it and shoot it. I had steady cams, I had 1,000mm lenses, I had lenses, you know, on the top, you know, really trying to find angles that would really emphasize the power of this moment.
Right.
So the whole thing just came together in a way that was unique. And then after it was over, Jennifer and I were together in her dressing room, you know, because he brought it. And of course, you know, I had directed it, and we just held each other and cried. It was that moment where she and I were holding each other and weeping, because we knew that we had channeled Selena's spirit, and that Selena's spirit was with us when we did this scene. And it was, you know, artists really suddenly feeling, you were suddenly allowed to feel after this tremendous emotion, the adrenaline, you know. It was an incredible moment. So that's the greatest memory that I have making Selena.
Oh my gosh, what a great man. And now that's the greatest memory that I have of you making Selena. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And it almost seems as though Miss Lopez was tailor-made for the part, because I mean, what kind of an actor do you truly have to be able to, you know, dance like her, at the same time making all of her facial expressions, studying that, at the same time entertaining people, at the same time being an actor. I think if you had trained all those things maybe growing up or throughout your career up until that point, it was still an early career, that's I think what was able to allow her to bring all those performances out in one package. You know what I mean? And I think it was a great idea to have her do it.
I mean, it was a blessing, that, and I don't think it's ever happened before in the history of cinema, that you had these two icons, Selena and Jennifer Lopez, suddenly coming together in this film. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Right.
That you have that. But she was absolutely, but the Quintanilla family wouldn't let us offer the part to anybody. We had to audition thousands of young women to see who was the right person. And then Warner Brothers paid for filmed auditions. We had about 20 young actresses. And I told Jennifer, I said, I can't offer you this part. I told many other actresses, I can't offer this to you. You have to audition.
Wow.
And Jennifer told me, she says, I'll audition, I'll put my talent up against anybody. And if there's somebody better to play Selena than me, they should do it.
Wow.
And we had unknowns who hadn't been in films before. We had well-known actresses and unknowns because we'd gone all over the country saying anybody, And we had a bunch of young women who had never been in a movie before. But of all the auditions, the only actress who took the time to study Selena's dance moves was Jennifer. All the other actresses danced like they danced. You follow?
Wow, I got you. Okay.
The only one who had the acting, she didn't bring a dancing mentality to it. She brought an actor's mentality. She's like, I am an actress and she's a great dancer, but how did Selena dance?
Right.
And when we saw the auditions, Abraham and Marcella are going like, that's like Selena danced. She was the only one who danced who really took the time to understand Selena. And she won it because she brought that intelligence to and that dedication to the part. And throughout the whole movie, I mean, that young woman was on fire. Every day, every scene. She went and she lived with the Quintanilla family. She slept in Selena's bedroom. She looked at all the home videos of Selena. She really studied Selena.
Oh, wow.
So she could capture all the humor and the spontaneity of that. And it is, Entertainment Weekly, they said it was the greatest performance of a musical biopic was Jennifer's performance in Selena.
Now in talking to you, I'm realizing that it's truly that, right? You guys all poured your heart and souls into a project, and in turn, you have captured the hearts of everybody who watches it. I mean, I think that's the only give, right? I give you my heart and you give it right back.
That's right. You do. The way it is with I think acting and all the technicians, the camera and everybody, is you give your best, and that allows, if you work really hard, it allows something to flow through you. You're really vessels for something to flow through. And everybody checked their egos at the door, when we came to the set. There was no ego on that set. It was all about, how can we really bring this to life? And that's why I say I really felt Selena's spirit helped us, because so often you have problems because people are, that didn't happen on Selena. Everybody was dedicated to bringing her story. And the help that I told you that the Tejano community gave us really inspired us. Because not only did 35,000 people, when we were doing the scene at the end of the film where everybody gathered in parks the night that Selena was killed with candles and stuff, 8,000 people in Corpus Christi came to help us recreate that. Again, for free, they came.
Wow.
Just like they did that night. So throughout the whole film, and how can that not move you? How can that not inspire you when you're working on a film, when you suddenly see 35,000 people or 8,000 people or 5,000 people coming out of love? Of course that inspires you. So that's why I have to say we've got Jennifer to thank for her great performance, Eddie to thank for his great performance, all of the great camera and technical people to thank, and Warner Brothers to thank for letting me make the film that I wanted to make on this. They supported me completely. And the Tejano community, have so many people to thank for making this great film. And now people get a chance to see it once again. And for the new generation who have not ever had a chance, who've only seen it on television, this is a great opportunity to see it on the big screen. It's going to premiere on April the 7th. And you can go to the website, which is Selena25anniversary.com. But I just did an interview with somebody from Telemundo, and they said that they went to the site and the 7:30 show they wanted to go to was already sold out.
Of course it is.
So get your tickets.
Of course it is, guys. Listen to me. Run, do not walk. Run to go watch Selena. Make sure that you guys get your seats because they're going fast. It's an incredibly inspirational movie. You, sir, are an inspirational person to talk to, and I thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. And we're all going to watch the movie together starting on April the 7th. And when it's over, we can all come together and say, anything for Salinas.
Thank you all so much for watching When Zay Zay Met. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to be notified when we upload more conversations with celebrities and other interesting people. Now, if you'd like to see your favorite celebrity on the show, it's simple. Just tell us who that is by leaving us a comment down below. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Hasta la próxima. Lo quiero del corazón.